Now, Behind the Law with Justin Clark and Allie Mack on ESPN 580 Orlando.
On ESPN 580 Orlando, Justin Clark here with you as we are every single weeknight, 8 o'clock p.m. on our favorite sports radio station. You can also watch the television programs this weekend, Saturday and Sunday, 12:30 p.m. on CBS. It's You Have Real Estate with me, attorney Justin Clark. And then Sunday, it is this show, Behind the Law, but it's Behind the Law on television, TV 27 at 10 a.m. Also, if you want to join us during the week, follow at Behind the Law Radio on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and you can watch and interact with the show right there. I have two Briannas here that work here, and neither of them have made an appearance today, which is quite shocking to me. I mean, it's one thing to do a radio show and operate the board, and then now I've got like all of this computer stuff over here. I mean, you should follow up Behind the Law Radio right now and look at me and what I'm trying to do. I mean, I don't know how to do all this stuff, and Brianna, OG Brianna is the type who, if I need to sharpen a pencil, she will leave me detailed notes on how to sharpen said pencil. But now it's like I got to run all this equipment over here and nothing. She just assumed I knew how to do it. So I'd be surprised if anyone could even hear us right now, honestly. I'm joined today by a very special guest. It is Joram Jean-Baptiste. How are you, sir?
I can't complain.
Did I say the last names properly or no?
You definitely butchered it, but it's okay.
Okay, go ahead, please. Introduce yourself for me, please.
I am Joram Jean-Baptiste.
Okay, gotcha. Joram rhymes like forum, right? That's how you said it earlier. Good deal. All right, so you're a real estate agent, I know. We've been talking all things real estate this week. What sort of realty are you in?
Residential real estate.
Okay.
So I do residential. I'm dabbling in some commercial.
I heard a little rumor that you used to maybe work in timeshare. Is that true or is that fiction?
It's definitely true.
Okay,
100%. 100%.
So while we won't name names of timeshare company or anything like that, I am not only am I running the board today, I also have new headphones, so everything sounds different. So I'm all discombobulated.
Well,
really,
they look good on you, sir.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. The problem with me is I could have one slice of pizza and it goes right to my face. You know what I mean? And I'm feeling a little chunky today, and I think these headphones don't thin my face. They really don't. So anyway, I'm going to have to go back to the old headphones, I think. But all right, timeshare a little bit, because we do live in maybe the most timeshare-friendly community in America, or like at least the most timeshare-type salespeople, no doubt about it. And there are a lot of people who will move down to Florida, New York, Boston, wherever, and they're moving to Florida, and they don't have a job lined up, and they will end up in the timeshare business. And it seems like a lot of them can make some pretty good money pretty quickly. Is that true?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And what is it like, though, working in the timeshare industry? Give us a little behind-the-scenes glimpse into what it's like.
Behind-the-scenes glimpse in timeshare. The best way I can say, Justin, is have you ever wanted to jump off a cliff?
I have, yes.
Okay.
Many times.
So imagine that 6 hours a day.
Is that right?
Yeah, that's about it.
So when you're working timeshare, I think we all have this vision of, being at some all-inclusive resort or something. We went there for free and we got to take the tour. Is that what timeshare really is? It's
100% that. So what it is basically you're talking to people on their vacation. And I say it like that, but I had the most fun that I had working in timeshare, to be honest with you. It's a love-hate relationship, mostly hate.
Is that right?
Yeah.
But describe your daily interaction, because I know there are a lot of people that listen to this show who might be looking for a career change, and maybe timeshare has popped up. What is a typical day like when you're working in timeshare?
Okay, so a typical day would be like any other sales job. You have your morning meeting. Get everybody pumped up, woo, Wolf of Wall Street.
Right.
Then you finish up with that. You get your rotation. You're in rotation. You go to sit down. You're waiting in the lounge, which is probably the most dangerous place to be at if you aren't headstrong. I mean, in sales, if you're in the lounge, you're just here listening to so much other negativity, if you will, from the older cats. You get your name called. You get your name called. You get out front, and you got to go ahead and put a great big smile, like, hey. Right. Let's go ahead and let me show you how you can Vacation for the rest of your life.
What was your initial intro? Like, what would be your kind of weigh in when that family would be there? Then they say, "Oh, here's the family you're going to be working with." What would you say?
I would look for something like common ground. I look for common ground. If they are going to UCF, hey, you guys, or if they have a UCF sticker, or if they go to, coming from New York, hey, you guys watched the game the other day, or whatever it is, I just jump right into it, and I don't even think too much hard into it because it's just making a conversation. Like, hey, how are you doing? How has your vacation been so far? And that's it.
It's Behind the Law, ESPN 580 Orlando. We're going to talk about your new venture into residential real estate, but I'm fascinated with the timeshare thing. You got to give me a little bit more into it. So, all right, you meet this family. Mm-hmm. Is it normally like husband and wife? Is it normally one? Is it kids? What's typical?
It's usually a whole family.
Really?
Oh, man. The most family I had, where I had to get 2 golf carts because we get golf carts. And I have a whole other story about the golf cart situation. I'll tell you during break. But I had a whole family I think it was 10 people all together. So it was like a whole podium tour basically that I had to take them all around the lot and everything. To keep everybody engaged. It's like it's pretty tough to keep everyone engaged. You got people on their phones and all that good stuff, and you don't know who is the decision maker.
Sure.
Who is the person that's going to go ahead and get this deal over the line? So you want to make sure everyone is attentive for that 90-minute presentation.
Yeah. And then, so like, what is the hard sell at the end? I mean, what are you selling someone on in timeshare?
You're selling them on basically buying timeshare, buying that slot. It's usually up to like $25,000. And then you also have to look at the maintenance fees after that as well.
How quickly can you figure out that this is just a family that's here for a free night stay? And do you think almost all of them are like that and you have to convert them?
They're all like that.
Okay. So they're all there just for the freebie, and they're like, oh, we'll just go through this so we can get some free stuff. And then you got to figure out how to change their mind quickly.
Exactly.
Huh?
100%.
What's a good percentage of families that they ring your bell, you come out, and you spend the next couple hours with them? What percentage would you think you would typically get?
The people that I end up turning around.
Yeah.
You want to say 30%?
30%? That's pretty good, I think, for people who go into it saying, there's no way I'm buying anything from this guy.
30%. That's actually true. Because usually you have people coming in and they're like, I'm just here for the gift. And they'll tell you straight up in your face, like, I'm just here for the gift. And you have to get that poise. And that's what I'm saying. Sometimes you feel like jumping off a cliff because, like, dang, this is my 10th tour. And I have to figure out how I can turn this person into a $20,000 deal.
What is it? And not talking about how much money you made by any means, but what would you say the average sort of second year timeshare, what do you call it? Timeshare salesperson, timeshare rep? What is it?
Rep. We can call it reps.
A timeshare rep, what would they make per year?
On average, $60,000 a year, which is not bad at all.
That's not bad, especially if, I don't know what kind of education it takes or experience or anything like that. So it's not a lot.
Yeah,
really?
Not a lot. No.
Oh, wow.
Pass the exam.
I imagine, I imagine that there are probably good relationships formed, though, with the other people, probably a lot of people similar age to you, and it becomes a little bit of a camaraderie down there, too, does it not? You must have met a lot of good friends.
Oh, man. I have a lot of great friends from timeshare. A lot of people who have, the broker that I'm with right now, I met him from timeshare.
Okay.
He's a broker, and he did timeshare. He does timeshare as well. So.
Is there one particular restaurant, as we like to call them, that everyone would meet up after the shift was over down there, or what? Was there one particular spot? Which one?
TGIF.
TGIF. We're already doing rah every morning. I might as well rah at night too.
Oh yeah,
the TGI
and they love us. They love us.
Is that right?
The guys tip, $60,000 a year.
Yeah. What finally convinced you that I've gotten some good experience in real estate through the timeshare thing? What finally convinced you to now go out on your own and become an actual residential real estate agent?
Well, the whole map that I had was to go ahead and get the sales experience. I don't want to name names or what have you, but the sales experience from this particular company and translate that into residential in itself. Because everyone's always told me, I used to sell cars, get into real estate, Joram. You have, the smile, the look, the everything. Get into real estate. And I'm like, okay. I finally had an opportunity to get into I want to do timeshare, make a little money, then go into residential, and then go from there.
Right.
Bop, bop, bop.
Good deal.
Then to commercial.
How do they take it when you're doing well in timeshare down there, and you finally say you're leaving? Are they mad? Or they're okay with it, or what?
For the most part, it's a revolving door.
Is that right?
So they didn't take it personal. It's like, hey, we'll see you whenever you want to come back.
How long were you working in timeshare?
Not long at all.
Oh,
I got in October. I started in October, and made the decision in April.
Okay. Well, congratulations. We're going to ask your opinion. I have a lot of people listening right now who want to get into real estate. We're going to talk to those people. How hard is the real estate exam? And what is the future of the real estate market here in Central Florida? All right on the other side of this very short break. It is Behind the Law, ESPN 580 Orlando.
You're doing a great job with the board, man. You're doing a great job with the board. I'm like, hey, that's a good transition there. Oh, just for the record, though, like I had with timeshare, like I was at Westgate. They cut people ASAP. So definitely cut. Cut. So it wasn't like it was a decision that was, but it was.
Understand. Say your full name one more time so I don't mess it up, please.
Joram Jean-Baptiste.
Jean-Baptiste. Not Baptiste.
Yeah, not
Baptiste. They
Baptiste.
said
Baptiste. I guess it's the way I'm saying it in Creole. Jean-Baptiste. Baptiste.
Jean.
I've been telling people. I've been having people say it in Creole. I like it better in Creole. I want to teach you some French. So yeah, cool. You getting some good footage over there? Good conversation.
All right, you guys ready?
Yeah. Can they see me dancing? Oh,
they can right there, yeah.
Oh, jeez. Right, I thought I was... oh, sorry.
Now back to Behind the Law with Justin Clark, right here on ESPN 580 Orlando.
Welcome back to the show. It's another edition of Behind the Law, ESPN 580 Orlando. Attorney Justin Clark here with you as we are every single weeknight, 8 o'clock p.m. Joined today by a very special guest, real estate agent here in town. His name is Joram Jean-Baptiste.
Yeah. That was right
a little
on the
closer?
Money. No, you got it right on the money.
Whew.
Right here. You can.
I'm like sweating over here. There's nothing that makes me more angry than when I mispronounce a name, which I did for you at the beginning. I'm very apologetic. If you have any questions for us, 321-282-1055. Now, my understanding is you have a little radio experience on a station across the street.
Yeah.
Is that right? So what did you... We won't mention their name. They happen to be competitors with me.
Yeah.
But what did you do over there, though?
I was a personality.
Okay.
So I did for about 2-3 years. Actually, no, about 4 years, actually. So I was over there as a personality. They call me... Well, I can say the name, right?
Yeah.
The name. I was Jerome the intern.
Jerome the intern. All right.
Yeah.
Were you like the crazy intern, or were you like the smart one? What were you?
The crazy, funny intern that was always late. That was always like I was always late. It was kind of a gimmick that we had.
And was that based on any real traits of yours, or would you? No.
Oh, it's definitely. No. I'm on time for everything. So I don't know why they would do that.
I got you. So I wanted to have you on today because I was very interested in talking to someone who hasn't been in real estate for the last 30 years. You're relatively new to the game, and real estate is one of those lines of work that a lot of us who are punching a clock, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. or whatever, we think that it's all glorious on the other side. If I'm going to become a realtor, a real estate agent, I just have to show a couple properties on Saturday and boom, I'm done. And it's really not like that. But when you finally decided to take that real estate exam, tell me how that test really is. Is it really hard? How long do you have to study? Explain that test to us.
Well, I'm working on this. That test was probably one of the biggest challenges I've ever had in my life.
Really?
Yeah, I'll say it in this. I took some other tests. I took an FCAT, all that good stuff, SATs and all that jazz. But that test, it challenges you. I mean, you're a lawyer, but you took the bar exam and all that jazz. So that's completely different. But it's like 25% of the bar.
Yeah.
I want to say. And it's extremely difficult, but only if you let it. Only if you're not confident. It took me 3 tries.
How often is it given? Is it because the Florida bar exam or any bar exam is given twice a year, right? Mm-hmm. So it's the same multi-state bar exam given on Wednesday. There's a date in February and there's a date in July. So every state has their state-specific bar exam on the Tuesday before or the Thursday after. I was actually still living in Boston at the time, so I just assumed I was going to live in Boston the rest of my life. But I was like, I really don't like cold weather, so this sucks. I want to get out of here. So I found a state that was warm that had their bar exam on Tuesday because Mass was on Thursday. So I flew from Boston to Tampa where the exam was given. I took the Florida bar exam on Tuesday all day. Then the multi-state bar exam I had to take in Florida because Florida would not accept a score taken in another state, the multi-state. And even though it's the same test, Florida wouldn't accept it. But Massachusetts will. So I figured I could, okay, good. I can take the multi-state in Florida, and they'll both accept it. And then I had to fly home that night and take the Mass bar exam on Thursday. I passed both, which is, look, trust me, look, it was like, God or something, because there's no reason I deserve to pass both of them. It was like miraculous,
Nice.
But but so you can only do that twice a year here.
Yeah.
How often can you take the real estate exam?
So long as there's availability. You can take it as often as you can. So.
And so what sort of, if I want to get into real estate, how long do you recommend we study for this test before we actually sit for it?
You want to give yourself at least a month.
Okay.
A month, take yourself away from everything and just, I call it submersing yourself, because a lot of my friends are taking the test or have it scheduled coming up pretty soon, and I've been helping them studying. But it's literally excluding everything away and just submersing yourself with just straight up real estate law. The whole entire thing. Learn what you need to learn, get it, find your techniques, whatever you need to do, but submerse yourself and don't shortchange yourself.
Gotcha. And then what is the test really like? So when you go sit down, what time do you get there? Where is it? And what's it like?
So the test could be anywhere. So you have different testing centers. So you go with Pearson View. So I took one in Lake Mary, one in Lake Mary, one in Lakeland, and the last one I took was in Tampa, and that's where I finally passed. So when you said Tampa, I was like, hey,
Tampa's a spot.
So everybody go to Tampa to pass your real estate exam. They're just giving it away. But you get there at a certain time. You could 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, whatever time. You empty your pockets. They check your every cavity in your body to make sure you don't bring anything in there.
Yeah. Exactly.
I'm like, geez, they're like cough twice, and I'm like, it's kind of weird. So you get in there, you take it. It's cold, it's freezing, and you just have yourself in front of the screen, and that's it. And it's probably scary, the most scary. It's so scary in there. But if the last time I took it, I was so confident. I was like, yo, let's get it done.
You're ready to go. Is it all multiple choice?
All multiple choice.
And how long is it?
It's 100 questions.
And do you have like 4 hours? Is it 8 hours? Is it 2 hours? 3 hours. Okay. But if you finish early, you're done, I guess, right? And how many people are normally in the room with you?
You have other people taking different exams. So you have about 30 other people in the room with you, and they're all quiet and not looking at your way, so you can even be like, hey.
Behind the Law, ESPN 580 Orlando. Justin Clark here talking to Joram Jean-Baptiste. He is with Roberts and Roberts Realty. He went the timeshare route, but now he's branched out on his own and a regular real estate agent. What came over you? What made you decide I'm going to go try this whole, I got to do it on my own thing?
I've always hated the corporate life.
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody listening that's living that life where you're tired of going into work, or you just feel like there's more for you, and everybody keeps telling you, "Oh, I have more potential. You have more potential. You have so much more." I mean, you might want to look into real estate or chasing your actual dream. I was like, I'm tired of chasing someone else's dream or hitting somebody's metric to get their dream fulfilled. Why don't I find these metrics, do the same metrics, do the same phone calls at my house to go ahead and make my dream come true?
I think what happens is, life sort of catches up with you, and you have a kid or two and then a wife, and you feel like you don't have a lot of savings, and it's really hard to pull the trigger. I mean, you get used to that paycheck, and then, look, by the time the taxes are taken out and health insurance, you have almost nothing left over. So doing it is very, very scary unless you have a nice chunk of savings, especially if you have a family. So, I can understand why people keep working for the man, so to speak. I get it, because we care so much about our families and our real desire to care for them. But it can be really freeing to go kind of give the middle finger to the man as well, can't it?
Oh, absolutely. I've never given any middle finger to the man. I just want to put it out there, guys. I didn't burn any bridge. So I can always hop right back into it. Like, hey, man, remember I told you I didn't want to work for you? I might just want that 9 to 5 just for a little bit. But no, I heard this quote the other day, and a paycheck.
I burn the bridge, he rebuilds the bridge. Right here on ESPN 580 Orlando.
That's a good quote. That's a good one right there. No, it was a quote. It said, a paycheck the paycheck that you're given is a bribe to make you forget your dreams.
Yeah, I've never heard that. That's great.
And it's the truth. And if you ever think about it, it's because it's like you get that comfortability, and that comfortability sometimes, you're not really giving anybody you're not doing anybody any favors when you're comfortable.
All right, so boots on the ground, being a real estate agent, working residential, it means that you're either obviously are listing properties for sale for people, or you are working with buyers and you're driving them around to find their dream home. When you're working with buyers, what's sort of an average amount of houses that a buyer wants to go see before they finally say, that's the one?
That's a great question. If I was to put an average on it, I want to say at least 7 houses.
See, now, House Hunters has been lying to me this whole time. Because what I heard on House Hunters, even House Hunters International, was they only get to see 3, and they have to buy one. Oh, you've never seen House Hunters? You've never seen the show?
No, I haven't, but
you ever watched House Hunters?
I need to do what they're doing.
So there's a show on like HGT, whatever, one of these channels at House Hunters, and they only let them see 3 houses. Of course, they only show those on TV, but it makes it seem like you see 3 and they're guaranteed to buy one. I wish it was like that for real estate agents, but it's really not.
And that's average on the low end. I'm saying, because this client that I just got, because I was telling you, I got a closing, and I got an offer.
Nice.
Yeah.
Excellent.
First one, yeah.
Right.
But we literally seen, I want to say at least, I sent him 25 houses, and we've seen at least 10 of those.
Oh, wow.
10 of those, and it doesn't sound like a lot.
It is a lot.
But imagine driving every single day, having to see different houses every single day.
I mean,
almost every single day it felt like. But we finally find it, and sometimes it's worth it, and it just depends on your buyer, I guess.
Right. So, but he did put an offer now. We're in.
Yes.
Excellent.
Yeah. And it was so worth it. I was like, hey.
Yep, exactly.
The build up.
So once we put the offer in, how long does it take to get to closing? And what are the next steps we really need to take as buyers to make sure we're not getting taken advantage of and we are actually buying our dream home, not our dread home? Those answers right on the other side of this break. It is Behind the Law, ESPN 580 Orlando. Okay.
You hook them in, jab, hook. So you hook them in like, hey, I want to get that. So I want to get that. That's cool. You have to do it.
All right, so you're going to help us play a game. Are you good with that? So you're going to read the questions on the air. Are you good with that? Blue mic. I almost saw the answers. So these are the answers. Don't show us those for sure. And you can use either these headphones or the blue ones, or black ones, I should say. If you're going to use these, you got to turn them on. There you go. Might have to unplug here. So you're going to read us all 4 questions. Well, we're going to write them down as you read them, then we'll go back and do the answers in a minute. Well, you'll ask one and we'll answer them, and then you ask the other one, and then I'll guide you along. Will you just talk into that mic for 1 second?
Hello.
More.
Hi there. How are you?
A little more.
Here with Behind the Law with Justin Clark.
There you go. All right. Now, put those on. Can you hear me okay? Can you hear me? All right, great. Okay.
She said she can't see me in person. She said she doesn't want to be seen.
Do you want to, will you tilt that a little bit? You can hold it from the, middle-ish and just tilt it towards her a little bit. Yeah. A little more. Perfect. Okay.
This is not like SAT questions.
It'll very likely be real estate related.
Okay, cool. Like, what's a bar sale?
Oh my gosh.
Advertised, buy, appraise, rent, sell.
All right.
Auction.
Now back to Behind the Law with Justin Clark, right here on ESPN 580 Orlando.
welcome back to the show. Justin Clark here with you for another edition of Behind the Law, ESPN 580 Orlando. If you have any questions, 321-282-1055. You can watch the television programs this weekend and every weekend. Saturday, 12:30 p.m. on CBS, it is You Have Real Estate with me, attorney Justin Clark. And then every Sunday at 10 a.m. on TV 27, it is this show, Behind the Law, but it's Behind the Law on television. Check us out every weekend or DVR and whatever you want to do. You can also join us during the week by following at Behind the Law Radio on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, any social media platform at Behind the Law Radio. Joined by a very special guest today, Joram Jean-Baptiste. Sir, how are you?
I am great.
Real estate agent here in town. We're talking all things real estate. Now, we have another guest joining us as well because we're going to play a little game in a minute called Stump the Clarky. It's a trivia game where you try to win my money. And Brianna, who's not here, both Briannas really aren't here, to be honest with you. That's why I have to do all of this stuff by myself, which is why I was a little discombobulated at the beginning.
But he's got it now.
I don't know about that, but anyway. She likes to see me lose, so it's very likely she's going to ask questions here that are related to something you're going to know more about than I do. So I don't want you to stress. But we're going to do 4 questions. We're going to write them down on these little cards you have here, and then we'll go back and we'll score this game. But special guest today asking the questions. Joram, you must introduce.
We have the crazy, the awesome, the coolest Anna Bananas. Boy, it's just Anna. Anna Duperval. Anna Duperval.
All right, Anna. So, you ready to do this?
Yes.
All right, hold on one second. So, we're going to play Stump the Clarky. Anna's going to ask us questions. We'll write them down. We'll see who wins this game. Hold on.
All right, and now it's time for Stump the Clarky. Come on, Clarky. We need you to get over here. We got some great trivia questions we want you to answer. Come on, Clarky. Get over here.
All right. Does it say what category it is today on the top there, Anna?
Yes, your topic is real estate.
Real estate. I told you it would be something you knew a lot about. All right, let's get to this game. What is question number 1?
Question number 1 is how many existing homes were sold in the U.S. in 2018?
Okay. Existing homes.
So
I can tell you that we sell about 2,300 homes every month in Central Florida. But I think that includes new homes, and I think the question is existing homes. Mm-hmm. So, let's say
I want to say.
you just write them down. Don't say them yet. We're going to come back and score it. All right. Question number 2.
Number 2, how many newly built homes were sold in the U.S. in 2018?
Oh, God. Okay.
Stuff I should be knowing, by the way, but 2 newly?
I was right to say that she was only asking about existing homes in question 1.
That was very
I don't think I get any
assertive
extra
of you.
I don't get any extra points for that whatsoever, though. All right, question number 3 for a Thursday night edition of Behind the Law. Stump the Clarky. Go ahead.
Third is currently, how many active real estate licenses are there in the U.S.?
Ooh.
In the U.S. or in Florida?
In the
US.
U.S.
Okay, all right. Just want to make sure.
A lot of realtors out there. A lot of lawyers, too. I don't know if people dislike realtors or lawyers more. I think lawyers, probably. What do you think? Or is it timeshare salespeople?
Oh, no, definitely timeshare salespeople.
Okay.
You are the worst.
All right, one final question. Question 4. Anna Banana, go ahead.
What percentage of home buyers end up buying a home that they found on the internet?
Oh.
Huh. I got this one. I got this one.
Maybe you do. All right, you guys ready to score this game?
I wish it was like A, B, C.
I know, right? You're listening to Behind the Law, ESPN 580 Orlando. Attorney Justin Clark here with you. We're playing Stump the Clarky against Joram Jean-Baptiste. All right, let's score this game. Special guest Anna is reading the questions, and now it's time for her to read the answer. What was question number 1?
Question number 1 was how many existing homes were sold in the U.S. in 2018?
Joram, we'll go with you, buddy. What did you say?
I went with the whopping. You said existing homes.
Yes.
Oh, French toast.
French toast.
Okay, so I did 600,000. I don't know why I did that.
I don't think that's a bad guess, actually, but I went a little lower. I went with 350,000 existing homes. What's the right answer?
You're both way off.
Oh.
It's 5.5 million.
Holy cow!
Really?
So, well, I mean, I was closer if we were looking at it.
Yeah, no, you definitely get the point. But I feel like a real idiot. I wish we could edit this out of the program, but it's live radio, unfortunately. So I'm just an idiot. I mean, where did I come up with 350 then?
Where did they put the homes?
24,
That's 2 mil. What, two? How many million?
5.5 million.
Yeah.
This is the U.S., not Florida.
I know.
Oh, this is the U.S. Oh, then I got. Okay,
All right, question number 2. I'm going to be an idiot again, please. Go ahead.
Question number 2 was how many newly built homes were sold in the U.S. in 2018?
I went way, way low. I went with 100,000.
Holy cow!
All right.
Well, I went 250,000.
We're both way low, I guess. What is it?
The answer is 650,000.
And you go up 2 to nothing. I've never been skunked on this game, but today might be the day.
I gotta get something. I gotta get something on the board.
Well, no, you are. You're up 2-0 because you've been closer than me because I'm a bigger idiot, apparently. I'm the biggest. You know?
Oh gosh. Okay, Anna, what's number 3?
If I come in second place out of 2, that's not good. You know? All right, question number 3.
Number 3 was currently how many active real estate licenses are there in the U.S.?
All right, back to you, Jordan. What do you have?
I said 500,000.
500,000.
That's when I was like specified. Is it for the whole?
Yeah.
'Cause I know in Florida it's 70,000.
I think you're a little bit low. I went way higher. I went with 2 million. What is the right answer?
2 million.
Oh,
No.
wow, I'm right on.
No.
Thank goodness. Thank goodness I get double points for that. So we go into question 4, tied up 2-2. After, I mean, look, I definitely don't deserve to win this game anyway, but we will go with question number 4. Question 4. What was it, Anna?
What percentage of home buyers end up buying a home that they found on the internet?
All right, so it's a tough call because, most buyers now are at least starting on the internet. So I don't know exactly what they're counting, but I went with 68%.
Oh, wow.
Jordan, what do you have?
I did 80%.
80%. Yeah.
Realtor.com. A lot of that. That's what
All right, I'm nervous. Who's the winner today? What's the answer?
The answer is 44%.
Oh, man,
Wow,
I'm
that's
sorry.
crazy.
Justin Clark comes
Yeah,
from
you
behind and
win.
takes the victory today.
Takes the whole thing. Takes the whole cake.
Okay, folks, thank you so much for being with us. Clarky, let's get out of here, buddy. My stomach thinks my throat's cut. I'm starving.
Thanks for playing anyway. Sorry about that, man.
In my defense,
I didn't deserve a victory there.
I'm fairly new. In my
There you
defense.
go.
In my defense.
And speak of fairly new a little bit because again, a lot of realtors are just starting out or even thinking about getting in the business. What kind of marketing can you really do to get some listings, get some buyers, and what is a fairly competitive market when it comes to real estate agents? What can you do marketing wise?
Well, you want to get on social media and let everybody know. I've been told every YouTube place that I've looked up because you go on YouTube, you try to find out how to be the greatest real estate agent, and they always say a secret agent makes no money.
Yeah.
So you have to let everybody know I do real estate. I'm a real estate agent. Get your sphere of influence, as they say, or your circle of influence. Call them, let them know, hey, I do real estate. Let them know. It sounds like you're harping them, but keep it in their ears.
What form of social media is really helping you the most? Because look, I'll be honest with you. We do all, for the law firm, we have people who do all the social media stuff. But Brianna, OG Brianna, who's normally on the show, tells me Facebook is dying. I mean, what are your thoughts on that?
I don't know that it's dying. It's just becoming more. I like Instagram.
Okay.
I like Instagram a little better.
So,
Instagram,
how do you connect with people on Instagram? That's what I don't know how to do it. Is it just posting pictures? I don't know. What is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, you post pictures and they slide up in your DMs. They slide up in your DMs. It's that simple.
What does that mean? They slide up in your DMs.
So they get to your direct.
I'm
message.
about to be 40, so there's
geez,
certain
okay.
lingo that I don't know what you mean. I know what a DM is. I just don't know how to slide into the DM. What does that mean?
Well, you need a surfboard. I'm just kidding. No, yeah, it's direct messaging. So they go into your direct message, or
Right.
they'll go ahead and comment on the post, and they'll direct message you and let you know, hey, you're in real estate. Like just now,
okay.
I was videotaping myself coming over here, and they're like, hey, you doing real estate now? And I'm like, yeah. And having questions and stuff of that nature. You answer those questions, and you find somebody who's looking for a rental and all that other good stuff.
What is the future of the real estate market here? We're going to tell you after we slide into this very short break. One more segment ahead, Behind the Law, ESPN 580 Orlando. Slide into your DM.
I like that. I know you know, but your listeners, some of your listeners.
I know what DM means.
Is that direct message?
Yeah.
Nah, that was clutch.
That was fun.
Good job.
Every time I come with him on the radio, I end up having to do like a little thing.
Just a little something. You find a way to get her behind the mic. So
Yep.
You handled yourself really well.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Such a bad mood earlier too. Such a bad mood earlier too. Thank you for that too.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
All right, you guys ready?
Now back to Behind the Law with Justin Clark, right here on ESPN 580 Orlando.
One final segment ahead of Behind the Law for a Thursday night. Thanks for joining us, 8 o'clock p.m. every weeknight. My name is Justin Clark. We follow live, local, loud, Nicky Football on the Boys Great Show tonight. We're talking all things real estate this evening. Joram Jean-Baptiste joins me today. We're talking about residential real estate, and you're kind of branching into residential real estate. You did have some timeshare experience in the past. I promised the last timeshare question. I could have spent the whole hour on it for sure, but I didn't want to. Any crazy horror stories from timeshare? Horror, like client stories?
The craziest story from timeshare that I can think of is when I accidentally crashed a golf cart.
Okay. Yeah.
And it was the family was, and the lady tried to sue. It was kind of funny.
What do you mean tried to sue?
They tried. I was like, hey.
Okay.
Like,
Did they sue or?
No, they didn't sue. They settled. Not even settled. They were just like, oh, it was the whole procedure. What happened was I accidentally reversed into another golf cart and behind me. And she was just like, my back, my neck, and my back. And I'm like, lady, like, come on. And so they had to give me a drug test. And, of course, I passed it. Whew. And, I was no worries there. Yeah. No worries there for me. And then that wasn't the craziest. One of the craziest was when I had a guy that said he was going to punch me in my face.
For what? For trying to sell him timeshare? You're like, dude, you're the one that got the free night. Yes. I mean, you have to sit through the presentation.
I was like, yo. It's like, because I asked him, would you be, I'm not going to lie. I have this way of, I guess I may have egged it on, but like kind of said, if you can't afford this, it's okay. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And that kind of made him a little bit you know. And he got upset.
Oh, I can afford it. I just don't want your stupid product.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he tried to, he's like, I'll punch you in your face. And I was like, oh, man, sir. Hey, calm it down.
Now that you're in regular residential real estate, what's your feeling on attire when you're out working with buyers? So it's hot. It's Florida. I think in some parts of the country, a lot of real estate agents feel like they have to go, suit or jacket. But what's your feeling on attire for realtors?
I mean, you see me.
Is that sort of the typical?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
Nah. I mean, it depends. If it's hot, then I'll polo. Yeah. You know what I mean? And you don't want to be too much in certain clients. Certain clients, if you're looking at a $1 million listing, obviously you want to come in there looking like you're going to a job interview. Right. Or if you're doing an open house, you always want to look good.
Some people get worried about when they sell their house and having the lock box because back in the day, literally it was like a 3-digit code or something. And they left a key right there. What's the lockbox situation now? Is it safe? I mean, is it digital? How do the lockboxes really work now?
It's digital.
Okay.
They use e-key. It's called the e-key. You go ahead and have your phone and you tap it and it just opens up.
But do you see any real safety issues with that these days? I mean, it's fairly safe, I would hope, right?
Yeah, it's extremely safe. I mean, no one's getting into those lockboxes at all.
When you're working with buyers and they walk into someone's house that clearly they're still living there, do you think it's bad for the sellers to actually be there in the home when you're taking the tour with your buyers?
I would say to me in my situation, because I had that actually, and I thought it wasn't good at all.
Yeah.
Because when you have somebody in there, they don't feel like they don't feel like there is their home, if you will.
Sure.
You want to make them feel like it's their home when they get there. Like, hey, this is, and the guy was just there, like, yeah, you got this, you got that. He did the whole tour, and he had a beer in his hand and everything. I was just like, oh,
Oh, you
Yeah.
built that? Yeah, I'm taking it down anyway. You did a horrible job. I can't believe you did that.
Exactly. So they can't really be themselves when you're there. They can't really give their own opinions, if you will, and they hold it off, and they're like, you know what, I don't even want this house.
Yeah, exactly. Have you worked with any renters? And let me preface this by saying the rental market here is great if you're a landlord. I mean, the rental rates are so incredibly high. And I'm trying to let people know that if you're still renting, it's really a good time to think about purchasing because
Absolutely.
the mortgage rates have now hit a 2-year low again. I mean, we all thought they were going to start going up 3-4 years ago, and they creeped up a little bit, but they're so low. To buy a house that's like $300,000, your payment's going to be maybe $1,700, $1,800, maybe $2,000. That same house, the rent's going to be like $2,500 or $3,000. It's totally out of control. And to get a mortgage, while in 2006 you just needed a pulse and a pen, in 2000,
That's about right.
in 2010 it was an act of Congress to get a mortgage. Now it's somewhere very in between. I mean, it's much easier to get a mortgage than it was at the absolute bottom of the market. It's way easier. So I really recommend anyone out there who's still renting, even if you had a bankruptcy or foreclosure a few years ago, you really need to look at getting back into the real estate market. There's just no doubt about it. But what do you see? What do you see in the future of the real estate market, value-wise, here in Central Florida?
Oh, man. Well, all I have to say is billions of dollars has been put into the region, period. You're looking at I-4. If you can buy as close to I-4 as possible, get closer to that $1 billion development, it's like the principle of progression. The higher, you have a $20,000 house next to a $500,000 house. It's going to go up no matter what.
Right.
So you have a development happening. You have a development happening as the most expensive. If I'm not mistaken, it's the most expensive project happening in America right now. Period. Which is the I-4 project. So that being said, if you can get as close to I-4 as possible, that's good for yourself. Not steering you in anything like that nature, but that being said, get into real estate. Get into it. Period. Because like you said, when the rental rates are high, that means that you can go ahead and are higher than the mortgage rates. It just makes sense for you to own. Period.
When you're out showing houses, right, and you're showing the husband and wife some houses, maybe a kid or whatever, do we normally stay in the same car, or are they following you?
I follow them. Oh, sorry, they're following me. They're following me.
Okay. Ever ride in the same car, or are those days
Yeah,
gone?
I have. I mean, it just sometimes it's easier if we just split off ways, when we leave.
When you're
Like you like it, cool.
Yeah, all right,
send an
bye.
offer. Send it by.
when you're working with a husband and wife, and you first walk in the house that you're showing them, how long is it before you can sort of read their body language? You know that this is not it, or we might have a chance here. How quickly is that?
Usually from the beginning when you open the door, when they come inside, you can look at the wife.
Yeah.
She'll let you know he's only doing what she wants to do. So you look at it kind of helps you out to just look at the wife. Just be like, but don't make sure the husband don't check you checking out the wife. You usually don't work that way for you.
Behind the Law, ESPN 580 Orlando. It's Real Estate Week. If you have any questions, 321-282-1055. Joram Jean Batiste joins me. He is with Roberts and Roberts Realty. Level with me. Who's more annoying typically, the husband or the wife? I don't know if I can even ask that.
On the interest saving my deal, and if they're listening right now, none of them are annoying.
Right,
none of them. But if I could say, it's a wife.
Do you generally find more questions from the husband or the wife when you have a couple?
It would be more so the wife, to be honest with
Yeah.
you. The husband usually is just sitting in the back for the most part and listening to whatever she has to say. So she's usually the one. But make no mistake, you better make sure you include that husband in that, because he's the one who's cutting that check for the most part. He's usually the one who's cutting that check, or he's the one who's going to have that decision to go ahead and make at the end of the day.
What's your theory on when you're taking a tour of a home with potential buyers? Do you like to go through the whole house with them, or do you let them take a tour themselves first and then they ask you questions, or what's your theory on that?
So a lot of older cats kind of let me know to let them do their own thing. Like, give them their own free space. Don't choke them. If they have any questions, be ready to answer those questions. Don't be hovering over them, because sometimes no one likes to be micromanaged. It's like, hey, this is the room. This is it. No, they know what a room looks like. They know what they know what.
This
what
is a
dining
bedroom.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, thank you for letting me know.
So there you go. Like Mr. Captain Obvious here. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, here he goes. And then you lose that whole contract right there. Don't want to work with you anymore.
As a buyer's agent, what research do you do on a house before you actually go take the tour with the potential buyers, so that you have the ability to answer the questions about the house? What kind of research do you do?
The local area, the schools in the area. You want to also look at the square footage of the house. Find out, if it's septic, if it's what kind of sewage, everything of that nature. Because that is, believe it or not, a question that the husband will ask. If he's going to ask anything, he's going to be like, hey, how big is the house? Because he wants to know this kind of stuff, those kind of things. And then also just the amenities, what's coming with the house, that kind of stuff, and that just making it, I guess, more so generally just the whole house.
How important is school system?
If you're depending on if it's a single family, it's pretty important.
Right.
It's extremely important. If it's an A school, B school, C school, and then that gets into price as well.
Joram Jean Baptiste Roberts and Roberts. How do I reach out if I'm looking to buy a house or sell a house? How do I find out more information about you, sir?
You can go ahead and give me a call at my phone number 407-929-9108, or if you'd like, I'm on Facebook, the Facebook as
the
Facebook, my grandma, the Facebook as my grandma say, at Joram Jean Baptiste, or at Instagram Joram and Joramtainment and Realtor, because I do entertainment as well.
Yeah.
Or just go ahead and Google me. I'm almost famous.
Well, I wish you would have talked about this entertainment thing before, but we are now out of time. We would have talked about that for a segment at least. And a great job today playing Stump the Clarkie. Thank you for joining us. And I don't know much, guys, but I do know one little thing. I'll see you right back here tomorrow night on ESPN 580 Orlando. All right, good job.
That's a wrap. That's a wrap.
Thanks for watching.